This dog's supposed to be exhausted. Just want to do a couple of things before I go home, and one is to forage some of the lime tree flowers. Last year I left it too late. I only got a few, and it makes the best tea. It's a really good herbal tea. I think I might have made the same mistake again this year, because looking up at the tree here, it does seem like it might be a little bit over, but we'll see what we can get. There's also, well, there was meadowsweet all along the walk that I've just been on, but here on the playing fields they have these like little boggy areas that are like the one behind me, and there's some lovely meadowsweet growing up out there, so I think I'm just going to collect it from there. And meadowsweet is another thing that makes a lovely herbal tea. Meadowsweet has this gorgeous almondy scent to it. So these are two things that I'm confident foraging. Never forage for anything you're not confident about, and yeah, don't take my word for it. Just do your own research if you want to do any foraging. But I'm happy, confident foraging lime tree flowers and some meadowsweet as well. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head home, Dory, and start gardening. This is the linden tree with the lime tree flowers, but you can see they're just going over. My advice is as soon as you notice the flowers are coming out, to get down and do your foraging, because it's over so quickly. And you will notice when it's ready, because you will smell it. I mean, the smell is so strong, and that's how I know this is over, because it's not as strong now. I think there are some sort of salvageable blossoms, so I shall pick a few. And when you pick lime tree flowers, you pick the flower and the bract, so you take that whole bit. Well, it hadn't been my intention to film today, but being that I'm stuck under the shanty roof while it's raining, might as well have a little chat, give you some updates. Hey Dory. So Mark's roof. Oh, hello. Oh, you've got wet paws. His roof seems to work when you haven't got strong winds driving the rain underneath it. So yeah, this is quite pleasant actually. So we'd needed this. It's been so hot and close over the last couple of days, and now it's like it's broken and it's fresh, and yeah, the whole allotment, it seems to be sighing with relief, Dory. But it keeps kind of stopping and starting, so I'm going out and doing little jobs and then sheltering for a few minutes. Forgot to bring my tea though, which is a shame. But yeah, what I'm basically doing right now is mulching the beds. So I've just been to the church and picked up the grass clippings. So I've brought those down here, and I'm just laying it out onto, well, the squash bed primarily, to mulch it in readiness for all this rain that we're apparently getting. And it does seem like we might actually be getting it this time. It's slowing down now, and the sun is trying to come back out. Right, Dory, a little bit more mulching? Yeah? You can do some mulching? Yes, yes, you're so beautiful. Come on then. Oh. So as well as bringing the grass clippings from the church, I've also brought some stuff from home. I've been super busy in the home garden on my week off, so we're Saturday now, and put loads of my veggie stuff out into the raised beds in the home garden, and then the things that I've got left I've brought down here. Save the brassicas. I've already got loads of brassicas here, and there's still loads at home. Just having to think about brassicas for a while. But what I have got is another sunflower to replace one that I think is broken. I've got some yin yang beans, which I thought were dwarf beans, and then I checked the label, and these are the yin yang ones, so I think they're a climber, so we need to make a structure for those. We also need to make a structure for the loofahs. Now, speaking to a lady at the other end of the site, because I noticed she was growing her loofahs outside, and I thought you had to grow loofahs in a greenhouse, but she said when she did it in the greenhouse she didn't have much success, and when she did them outside they were brilliant. So I've got one in the greenhouse at home, and I've got two to put on the plot here. They like to be in full sun, so yeah, they need a structure as well. I've also got some of the asparagus to put out here, and this. So this, this poor tray of very sad looking seedlings is the achocha. It was the fat baby, and I don't want to give up on them really, because I was really excited about them. So I'm going to pop them in. I wanted them to go over the arches, which are now in. Can you see those behind me? So here are the two arches that Liam very kindly constructed for me. The idea, which I've mentioned numerous times I realise, is that the tromboncinos will climb up them. They're quite far away from them though. I didn't really judge the scale of this very well. But then I also wanted to put the achocha going over the arches. Having said that, I've still got second early potatoes in the space where they need to go, which makes things difficult. And lastly, I've got some amaranth, so that's all that's left. The rest of those went into the home garden, and some Aztec broccoli as well. Some of that's gone in the home garden, some of it can come in here. But I want to show you what's in this wheelbarrow. Take a gander at this. About a gazillion strawberries. The lady on the plot who let everyone know that she had an enormous amount of strawberries on her plot, and if anyone wanted them they could just come on over and she'd dig them some up. So I was walking the dog through the site yesterday, and she was there, and she asked me if I would like any, and I said yes, and yeah, she did me up a whole wheelbarrow full of strawberries. So my plan is that they go with the strawberries that I've already put on the plot around the fruit trees as part of the fruit tree guild. But what I really want is for the rain to soften the ground before I attempt to put all those in, because yeah, the ground is pretty hard right now, and it'll be such an easier, more enjoyable job if the ground has had some water and is a bit more malleable. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave those until Monday. But what I might do now, before I go home, and seeing as it's not raining, the sun's back out, is just put these fat babies in and see if they can grow into bigger babies. And maybe the beans. Maybe I get some more bamboo sticks out and make another structure. Just got all 8 of those in before the rain started again. Planting beans in the rain, some may say, but I do not learn my lessons. I'm not sure about my spacing with this. I seem to have put that teepee very close to the other teepee and practically in the squash. But oh well, we're planting things very close together now that space is at a premium. Quite liking this really. Do a little job, get rained off, come have a sit down. If only I had my tea. But it's lovely that there's no one down here. Don't have to feel embarrassed by filming. And yeah, it's just super quiet and chilled. When Mark gets his beds all in and filled up and this looking lovely, it's going to be a really nice place to hang out. I mean, it already is. I think the rain is setting in now, so also I'm starving. It's like nearly 1 o'clock, so I think I'll just water in the beans and then call it a day. I did remember I still have 2 arches to go up, so the fat babies can go up those, but I don't know when they're going to get up, and I think I'm going to have to make that a priority for next week. Anyway, fat babies aren't doing anything today, nothing else is doing anything today on here. It's time to go home. Yes, Dory? Shall we go home? Come on in. Good girl. I'm home and I've just had to jump back on because as I came through the entryway to bring my stuff in, I noticed there's a package tucked in behind the bin, and it's from Chipito. So I mean, if you watched last week's video, you'll remember the shocker that was, where have I just put it? The demise of the Hori Hori. Broken. So, still usable, but broken. And also that I lost the pin from my secateurs, which were a Geppetto tool as well. And so a couple of nights ago, after a glass of wine, I thought, I'm just going to email them and see if they can at least send me a replacement pin for the secateurs. That's all I was asking for, and but let them know that I'd had a particularly bad weekend with my Geppetto tools and broken my Hori Hori. What we have learnt, not indestructible. Nevertheless, I got an email the next day to say they'd send me some replacements in the post. And here they are. Let's have a look. So lovely packaging with Geppetto products. You get the little card. Each thing comes in its own little bag. I've got the so I've got the secateurs, the Hori Hori, and I also got the scythe, which I should not own. But oh, so beautiful, beautiful and new. Okay, we can get pruning again now. Thank you, Geppetto. I really only wanted the pin. And then this isn't mine. This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate. I just had the bog standard. Whoops. Knocking things over in my excitement. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Ooh, you know what this has? So that you don't slide your hand down and potentially cut it. Whereas that one doesn't have that. And you could probably open your drinks with that. It is a thing of beauty. Oh, and that's interesting. So the blade only goes halfway on this one, and look, it goes all the way down on the ultimate. That's going to be way harder to break. Not that I'm setting myself the challenge of breaking this. And it comes with a holster, although I think that's leather. But we won't talk about that. Wow, wow. Oh god, it's still raining, but I want to get out there and dig something, but also I don't want to make it dirty. Well, Geppetto, very good customer service. This is not because I'm some kind of influencer or anything with my 650 subscribers. Nobody is sending me free stuff. No, this is just a genuine customer sort of inquiry only for the pin. And yeah, super generous to replace them. They said in the email it's very unusual for their tools to break, and they wanted to keep me a happy customer, and they have. So anyway, I shall stop advertising Geppetto, but they kind of deserve 5 minutes on the vlog for that. Dory, what do you think? Look at this. Look at this. Look at it, Dory. Look at it. Be careful. She's like, I thought I might be able to eat it, but no. Oh, I realised I did all that and I was looking at myself again and not the camera. I'm trying, believe it or not. So, there are some things that I want to show you around the garden, but I think we'll wait until the weather is a little bit better. So I shall catch you in probably a couple of days. morning, I'm back on the plot. So my job for this morning, it's Monday morning, is to weed the fruit guild and plant in all those strawberries that I was kindly gifted, along with some asparagus, a couple of rhubarbs, a couple of cinnamon, are they cinnamon yams? Is that what they're called? Potentially some other bits and pieces, whatever I can really get in the ground. There is a method to the madness with fruit guilds, and quite fortuitously, Nile Gardens has just released a video on fruit guilds. So if you're interested, go to that one where somebody, with some expertise will talk you through the various kinds of plants that you put in a fruit tree guild. But essentially you're trying to put in plants that are going to benefit the health of the trees that you've put in. Now I've got one tree, I don't know what it is, hoping a pear, an apple tree that's looking alright, a cherry tree that looks dead, and I let the whole bed go to weed. That is not how to do a fruit tree guild. Now I have put some things in which are part of the guild. So I've got some herbs in there, I've got some comfrey in there, which is one of the deep rooted plants that draws nutrients up for the tree. So that's in there. There's a bit of the coriander that I threw around as well. And then sort of randomly, not sure this is really part of the fruit guild concept, but I also put some hollyhocks and some foxgloves in there as well. Oh, and I've got a grapevine, of course the currant bushes, which are a part of the guild. Anyway, it all just got a little bit out of control in terms of the weeds, and I think the issue there, because no dig, you're not supposed to have too many weeds, but because I had to dig really big holes to put the trees in, that lifted up the soil and disturbed it and drew those weed seeds up to the surface. So I think that was the issue there. But we've had some rain, so it's actually quite easy to pull up these weeds. I've already done half the bed, half to go, and then I'm going to put the strawberries in, which are going to be my ground cover plant. So that's the understory that's going to provide, hopefully, the shade that means or the ground cover that means the weeds don't take hold again. There will always be some weeding, obviously. And then the asparagus goes well with the strawberries, so I'm going to put that in there. And I did look that up because that isn't something that I've heard about so far, but apparently, yes, you can have asparagus in fruit tree guilds, so I'm going to put some of those in. And yeah, just sort of slowly build it up because it's quite a huge bed. It's got 3 trees in, so there's plenty of room for different kinds of things. It's very much an experiment, but what you want to be doing is drawing up nutrients, drawing in pollinators, repelling predators, and just, yeah, generally benefiting the health of the trees. So, back to weeding. Weeding done. That was quite funny actually. I was weeding the fruit tree guild and I was thinking, you know what, weeding's not so bad. I think, it's kind of methodical, that's okay. Maybe I like weeding now. And I felt like I was on such a roll that I went to the perennial bed, because that has gone a bit out of control with weeds as well, and started on that one. And then I was like, no, I don't like weeding. Weeding is horrible. In part because when I was doing this, the fruit tree guild, the worst weeds there were kind of just grass and stuff, and I was feeling quite chuffed that there was no bindweed. And then I did the perennial bed and there's bindweed. I think some of it has come across from Jim's, to be honest, with the Josterberry and the Saskatoons. I've put Saskatoons all over this plot, so I mean it's on marks as well. It's on both sides. It was going to penetrate, I guess, at some point, and it is on the back of my plot. I think I've also got creeping buttercup. So there's something that's creeping and it has buttercup-like flowers on, so I'm assuming that's what it is. There's one other thing. Let me show you this. There's quite a lot of these in the bed. What are these? I didn't weed them out because I wasn't sure what they are. There's another one. Yeah, they're kind of all over. There's a big one. Some little ones. Well, PlantNet says it's nutgrass, which I've never heard of. I'm assuming is not a good thing. So I guess I have to weed that out as well. Well, I did find while I was digging more potatoes. I love it. Anytime you weed something or dig a hole to put something in, there's potatoes. Can't complain about that. As I'm just sitting having a little relax and rest, checking out the bindweed that's coming up on Mark's plot where it's been rotivated. See how it comes up into the greenhouse as well and tries to strangle your plants. Still, its onions are looking good, being that these were really late sown. Not bad at all, Mark. It is just interesting to see how the weeds differ. So this is on Mark's rotivated dug plot. He's got a lot of much smaller weeds than I seem to have on my plot. Oh look, he's got some cosmos coming up too. So there's just a point of comparison, not with the no dig bed. So a lot less to those little weeds, which isn't to say no weeds at all, of course. So grass, and dandelions and things, but yeah, quite different. And as I say, that's what I've been noticing really. It's the places where I've dug, for instance here with the potatoes where I dug a trench. You know, it's been incredibly weedy and the peas haven't done so well. Whereas this half of the bed wasn't dug. It's much less weedy, not completely weed free, but the peas also did an awful lot better. And we've got another flower on the dahlia. Hello. Look at that one now. It is stunning. Saskatoons are cropping now on this one bush. Ooh. Is that focusing? Okay. And I'm so pleased that the beetroot are doing well on the plot, being that they've been a complete disaster in the home garden. Beans have managed to climb their way all the way to the top. Oh, almost. Nearly there. Yeah, and there we go. A Saskatoon that comes complete with bindweed. And the only thing you can do, oh, I've got a good bit of root. Is just keep pulling it up. And this is what I think is the creeping buttercup. Is that correct? It's creeping, although there's no buttercup flowers just there. But there it goes, creepy. water to rot down. Once they're completely dead, hopefully they can go into the compost heap. Right, that's probably enough break. Should put these strawberries in now before the rain comes. Well, I think we did that just in time. It's just starting to rain, but all the strawberries are in. I didn't count them as I went along, but that was a lot of strawberries. If you'd had to buy those from the shops, that would have been expensive. So yeah, really good to talk to your plot neighbours and take advantage of opportunities like this. Someone doesn't want something anymore, or they've got too much of it, and now I have a strawberry bed, which is a fruit tree guild, but may just be a strawberry bed in the end. Who knows? This is all an experiment. But I put all of them in, and I've also interplanted the asparagus that I grew from seed. So that's in there as well. But yeah, pretty happy with that. I've given them a good water in, even though the rain seems to be coming, and I also cut off any suckers that were coming off the strawberries, because obviously I want the energy to go into the main plant root, so that it successfully has transplanted into its new home. Right, next on the agenda, well, we've still got all these things to plant out. I just realised I'd brought down 2 of the rhubarb that I grew from seed to go in the fruit guild as well, but now I'm not sure where they would fit. So I might leave that for now and think about it. Cabbage white, get off that brassica. I see you. I see you. What are you doing? Let's look under these. What's that? Ooh, don't know. There's some whitefly. And spiders. Looking under these ones. Don't these look great? I'm not sure these are kales at all. I think they might be calabrese. I think this is probably kohlrabi. When I keep saying I've got millions and millions of kales, and then I plant them and none of them seem to be actually kale. I'm not sure if I mentioned before that most of these kales that I had in this cage are actually kohlrabis, but they're bulbing up nicely. There's one. There you go. That seems to be something else, but who knows what. Could be, it doesn't look kale-y. Could be a cauliflower, could be a broccoli, who knows. Yeah, see, can't get in there. Oh, you can probably enjoy the ones that are pushed up against the top of the netting. Oh, gone for a swede instead. We're going to leave the rhubarbs for a bit. We've got Aztec broccolis. This loofah, poor thing, been nibbled. Now, if you were shouting at the screen when I was down here earlier in this video, when I was planting the yin yang beans and saying, oh, I think they're a climber, and made an entire structure for them to climb up. Yeah, they're not. They're a dwarf bean. So that was stupid. So now I'm a bit like, well, what am I doing with this? And I did think I could potentially put a tomato at each corner and they can grow up the poles. And I was also thinking I could perhaps put inside it either the loofah or maybe the chocha fat baby or something to make use of this structure that I've now created that these beans have no use for whatsoever. I should have googled that as I said it. Oh well. Yeah, shall I do that now? It was spitting, but it stopped. I think we've got time. Okay, I'm going to get some more stuff in. But I'm going to leave you. I think this video has probably got fairly long already. I'm conscious that the wind is getting up, so the sound quality probably isn't that great. Well, any closing remarks? Now, I'm glad I've got this done on the fruit guild bed, and that I did some other weeding as well, because on Wednesday it is allotment judging. There are two categories, best plot and best newcomer. I'm actually under no illusion that I might win, because although I am very proud of what I've achieved on this plot, to think it was just bare ground a few months ago and now it's brimming is amazing. But there is a plot on the corner there which was also a bare plot and is absolutely full and spectacular, and I mean that's the total winner. I personally feel like that's a half plot and there's a couple who work it, whereas I've got an enormous plot and it's just me. I don't think that's taken into consideration with the judging. But all that to say is that if people are coming around to look at plots and judge them, I do want to make a good impression. So that's why I'm glad I've done the weeding, and that I will probably be here on for the next 2 days, kind of putting more things in and making sure the plot kind of looks its best. Probably should do some strimming then. But yeah, I thought maybe after Wednesday I could do a little film doing my own judging of people's plots. Well, no, not exactly, but I'll show you the plots that I think should win, and then we'll see which ones do. So as always, thank you for joining me. I've tried really hard this week to look at the camera lens instead of myself. I know how I failed at certain points, but I'm doing better. We're getting there. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you next time. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. Really does make a difference. It's lovely seeing the subscribers going up each week. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed, and if you haven't, please do click that button. And